So it comes down to me now having to take accountability and being like, all right, I need to unlearn everything I ever thought a man was and relearn.
Agree.
This is what a dad's supposed to do. When you're not doing it, a real man will look at himself and be like, okay, how can I navigate it better? This is how you're supposed to treat your woman. You actually have to think about, because we'd be happy to kind of, for us, we're happy if a woman sat next to us. That's time spent for us. But they like to dress up. They like to be wined and dined every now and again. So then you have to take accountability and be like, oh, it's been a month since we've been out, just us two. And you have to recognise these things because we're the leaders, so we have to recognise these things.
Facts.
So now I'm only at the age of 31 learning to be a man. But that takes accountability because I'm like, so long I was just a boy. And like, I just do what I want, and if you try and tell me off, I'm going to have a tantrum like I would with my mum, and then I'm going to shout and hissy fit, and then like my mum would, my partner's going to go, oh, that's okay, like, and pamper me and cuddle me and da-da-da-da-da, but then I don't grow.
Exactly.
So then now I'm learning to be a man, but it takes, once again, the maximum of amount of accountability, and you're going to have the same thing but from the opposite end of the spectrum. So I don't even know what it looks like because because I don't know anyone with your situation, so I don't know what the downside of not having mum around, because for me you're quite a balanced person, but there's got to be something, and it comes down to accountability. You're going to be like, at some point I'm going to find out what my little beast is, my little demon. Like, I might not be really affectionate because my dad obviously doesn't, like, we don't sit and cuddle like my mum would. So like when you're trying to cuddle me, I don't really want to do that. That might be your thing. Whereas boys who had it the other way around tend to be really affectionate because they was always cuddling their mum. So like, I'm very affectionate because like, that's how I was with my mum. Like, so I'm very, like, if I'm on the sofa, I'm going to chill with you, I'm going to cuddle you. So
do you know what I have realised very subtly is I talked about this last time, which is I don't put up with any bad behaviour. So I might, so like, if you know, when girls, like, cause what happens is when they deal with a lot of guys who do that, and then they put up with it, they build up this thing of, most men will put up with it until they meet me, and then it's just like they see me as very, like, super strict and like, oh, why is this guy? He's just cold. He just aired me, and then I don't talk to her because I know the dangers that come with it. And I've been taught that from my dad. So it's almost like it's a preemptive safety thing. However, it's accountability. It's not, it shouldn't be an 100% thing.
It shouldn't be generalised.
Because this is a relationship. You have to sacrifice something, right? I'm coming at it like, you're just supposed to do everything else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work like that. It doesn't. And I had to learn that the hard way, that, oh, okay, so certain sacrifices in personality, willing to put up with, I don't know, maybe some arguments here or there, or even just things that you don't agree on.
But this is why it comes back down to, you mentioned it before, I think it was off camera, about choice. So you will find someone that you're like, you're my best choice, if you get what I mean. And then whatever other stuff you come with, I'm always going to try and take accountability for my part in it, but I'm always going to choose you. Because I'm choosing me. I'm choosing me by choosing you because you're the best option for me. You've got the 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, whatever. The other 3, we will learn and learn each other, and then soon it'll be a 9 out of 10. But people want 9 out of 10 from the jump, don't want to take any accountability, and then they're like, oh, you shouted at me, I didn't like that. That's toxic masculinity. See you later, next one. Then that's where it comes down to girls racking up numbers, guys sleeping with girls. Oh, you're a player, you're a hoe, and no one's with anyone.
Everyone's a stalemate.
No one wants to put the work in. So I think that's why I'd say, and this is where the thing that I've learned today, there's probably a balloon of things that kind of optimize us as people, which would be obviously your accountability, your discipline, your choices, and they're all kind of the same thing, if you get what I mean. Like
they're kind of blended
together because accountability is a choice. Then you have the choice to take accountability.
Responsibility.
Accountability is a form of discipline. Like them 3 things are kind of your base. They're your base for, like,
if they're off, you're gonna notice it. Basically,
they're your base for becoming your best you. I think.
That's real talk, bro. And what I think we've got today is, like, I think it's important to take note of what you do and how you operate, so that you know, you can, even having these conversations, do you know what I mean? Like, because we're not naive enough to not realize that men want to be men by design. Women naturally want to be women, but I think we live in this weird, confused place now where we're not even able to operate in those spaces anymore. It's so blended. It's like, train your boy to be everything, train your girl to be anything. So as they come up, if they do want to, let's say, find a healthy relationship, as it, say your 21-year-old son comes up to you and you're a parent, and he's just like, you haven't taught him about no relationship stuff, you just told him everything's all agreeable, you're supposed to just, you know, you're setting your kids up for failure. We're setting our future people up for failure when we don't operate in our natural states. Now, there are outliers. There are always going to be people who think differently, but as we know, we cannot prepare for it. It's just like when I told you, dealing with certain girls, they build up their majority off of who the men they deal with. So if a guy's cheated on them, if a guy's disrespectful, I don't do those things, but I will let you know that, and you also, I am a different character. So you know, regardless of me saying I'm not cheating, it's irrelevant. Because there'll be other things in your characteristics that'll probably turn me off before we even get there. Because as I said, I look at it as, if you're out there doing certain things, that I look on the man's side of what a man's supposed to do. I'm supposed to go to work. I'm supposed to do things I'm not supposed to want to do. I'm supposed to be disciplined. I have to be confident. I have to be assertive. I have to build all of these things as time develops. And then I meet a partner, a female, who just has to be good looking, and she can be a little bit bitchy or crass sometimes, and I'm just cool with it because I'm a man and I'm supposed to. No. That's where I find the line where it's hard.
What I've learned is this is why it's so important to be able to converse in the right manner. And when you become like a good man, I'm going to call it a high value man, not in terms of money, but a high value man in terms of your worth to the relationship. You'll be able to get your point across without ever having to raise your voice, almost by saying nothing, and just saying one or two things to make them reflect. Even if you just say, I'm going to give you half an hour. If you've got kids, take them out, or I'm going to go out for half an hour. I want you to kind of reflect on what we went through, then we'll come back and talk about it. I know it sounds very like belittling, but it's not in that way. It's because it's pro-growth. So if I stay here and we talk about it now when it's fresh and raw, we're probably going to argue. So it's better if we're not in each other's space, we can kind of think about it, and then we'll come back to it. We'll sit down and we'll figure out how we're going to change that going forward, or how we're not going to make the same mistakes going forward. But that people have come away from all of that now. It's just shout, scream, don't speak for 3 days, then it'll come back again, shout, scream, reference back to the last time we had this argument, like, and it's just not healthy. It's not healthy. It's just rinse, repeat.
No, you're right. I think the biggest thing that I see a lot as well is we're trying to change the narrative of what masculinity and femininity is all about, and on the men's side, we're trying to introduce things that typically have never been considered masculine. You know, so men operate typically in logic. So if something's logical and there's a solution to be had, that's typically the route men are going to go down. We're not going to fine-tune the emotional reactions of every person along the way, which is kind of what they want now. It's kind of like, do it, but who are you upsetting along the way? How are you affecting other people's mental health? How are you affecting your own mental health? These new introductions, what they've done is they've slowed the progress of people being able to interact with each other. So now I have to come in and I can't just do what I was doing, which is what men do. They just act, they do. And then you kind of surmise from that. What you try to do now is you try to have men come in, lay down their tools, have a decent discussion, break down everything that they're going to do with you, explain, keep you in the loop, and then go to work.
You know, I'm going to throw in a random point. Just thinking, like as you're saying it, you mentioned it briefly before, that a lot of the problems we have and the reasons we probably struggle to take accountability is because a lot of us feel like we're underachieving. But we're underachieving because none of us want to take accountability for the fact that we don't collaborate. You said about competitiveness. We don't collaborate because society's told us it's dog eat dog, which it is to some degree. But we don't even want to create something with our friends or like our best friend, bring them in, or all these things where if we could create an environment, or we created a podcast or whatever it is, and we was passionate about it, it will get to where it's going to get to because we're going to take accountability for it. But a lot of the arguments that households have tend to stem around money. And men feel less than what they know they are in their head, considering all the talents that they have. So then they never want to take accountability because it's easier to run away from it than trying to figure out a solution. But the solution is unity. Like, it sounds nice, hippie-ish.
No, it's not.
It's
it really
unity.
isn't,
like the more, they like to say, strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. So even if we're not in business together, I come on this podcast because I'm willing to invest in you because you're a friend. That's what a friend is. Somebody's willing to invest in you, and you're willing to invest in. So if it brings an extra 2 views, one of those views might be the significant one.
That's it, bro.
But people don't want to collaborate. It's all for self-gain. This ain't self-gain for me. This is like a therapy session, a way for me to vent, a way for me to potentially help people, but essentially I'm here for you because I'm investing in you. And that's where I think a lot of our problems could be solved. Like we were speaking about electricity earlier on. If strength in numbers say no,
solidarity,
or they turn around and say yes, we're willing to pay it, but energy is free. This is how much we're willing to pay. Like it all comes down to unity. Like that's why when I created the daily deposit thing, everything was about tribe. Everything for me is about tribe. Getting back to that tribe mentality where, all right, I've done 2 of your podcasts. I might say, can you record a video of me doing kick-ups? It would be like, as long as I've got time, let's create a date. I'll do that for you, bro.
Man.
Boom. That's tribe. That's my people. And that's what it comes down to. I feel like because everything is, and this is why we probably love growing up in council environments so much, and we're told to escape that and go and live like in a big house on your own. But you have your tribe. You know that someone's going to come and knock on your door.
That's it.
You're going to go and do all types of badness. But that's your people.
That's it.
That's the tribe. But now we're told, get rich, get away from that, and then you're like, my kids ain't streetwise, man.
You live out in the country, like living out in the 3 or 4 acres.
But it's taking accountability of your part in that and figuring out how you can still bring that tribe environment. Like me thinking now off the top of my head, I'm taking accountability, or I'm going to take accountability from after this conversation and say that I want to see men and my people together more. So I might have to organise Uno night.
Poker night.
Poker night. Card night. Blackjack. Old school. Dominoes.
That's it.
I'll sort out the food because I'm going to take accountability that it was me that made this choice to do it. And then we're all going to sit down.
And we'll come together.
Women will come together. We'll have some dope conversations. And we're just going to have fun and be men.
Now real talk, and I think that's the healthiest version that men can really take today, finding that tribe and being willing to pour into the tribe, because I think all a lot of people have now is that we've got groups. We've got social connectivity groups where you can step in to get an advantage, to look better, to have some more clout or some status, but what are you giving to the group? We've got loads of groups. You can join any group. How many WhatsApp groups anyone in here right now? Probably 1,000. But how many of them are you consistently available, consistently working with? Enough people can't even delete them. You've got to clear yourself out the chat before you can delete it. How many people right now can't even delete a group off of a WhatsApp group? You know, so I massively agree with the tribe thing, and that's honestly why I created this, because I knew there would be like minds who would share in these conversations, and it naturally materialized. When I first started, I thought I had to get new people on, and I got to get these microphones and this audio, and now I've realized it's got nothing to do with the technology. Absolutely nothing. It's all got to do with the people I get on, the conversations we have, and it's not even about the views and clicks, because as you just mentioned, people have this perception in their mind that I need 10,000 viewers, I need 100,000 clicks, I need 1 million. How many of that audience were buying into you, are pouring into you, are investing into you? Whereas you might have somebody who has 10 viewers, 20 viewers, 30 viewers, but they could all be millionaires.
Yeah. And this is the mad thing. This is where you will have to take accountability and be like, okay, I might not get 20,000 views, I might get that, but what you have to take accountability for is the quality of your content, and trust that in time something will materialize. It might not be what you think, it might not be a podcast. Someone might come to you and be like, you're amazing, I think you could be on TV and do interviews. And you'll be like, I never thought that for myself, but listen, if the money's right and it means that I get to be myself, boom. And it's like I posted on the daily, like I reposted the Daily Deposit thing today, where it's like, if you're yourself, your true authentic self long enough, they'll pay you to be that.
That's real. That point. That's bars right there.
But it's when you try and be something else, you just become everyone else.
Yeah, that's real talk.
So just be yourself and do it authentically, and at its
and believe in that.
Do it. Do it. What's the term I'm looking for? Provide extreme value of it. So like, you know your worth, your weight in gold.
Yeah.
So when you speak and when you hold and choose your topics, you have to give that extreme value and the way you deliver it, and in return, you'll get to somewhere magnificent because it's what your quality requires or demands.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, bro. Like, this is why since I've got to this point, I think what's happened is I first started, and initially, just like most people, if anyone out there starting a pod, they don't really know what talking points they want to go into. I'll tell you what they do. They look at the talking points that are popular.
And why? Because around quickly.
Because you want to get views, you want to get attention, you want to get your messages out there. However, there are certain messages that just going to have a smaller pool of listeners. They're going to have a smaller audience. So you're not going to have 100,000, 1 million people, 2 million people tapping in every 5 seconds. So you have to come to terms with what you do and what you're passionate about, and then what type of audience you could attract. So I knew with this, I wasn't going to get the millions off the back. It wasn't going to be some trendy talking point stuff, but it was going to be more personal.
You know why? Like, I'm just thinking about it now as you're saying it, and this is where it's important to take accountability and be like, I'm cool with taking accountability for the fact that right now I ain't got 10,000 views, but I'm cool with that. This is how you know someone's powerful. Let's speak about Kevin Samuels or a Tate, one-man band. Ed Sheeran, one-man band. That's when you know you have power. The reason these shows get, these other casts get 100,000 views, 1 million views, is because they have to bring in people that are influencers or XYZ to be controversial, and it won't just be them and one other, it'll be them and 8 people, and then they'll become a meme because a girl's got a funny laugh, or girl said something rude to this girl, and and that becomes the meme. The topic becomes irrelevant.
Out the window.
It goes out the window. But Kevin Samuels could have 1,000 people logging in on a Tuesday night and trying to just get a one-to-one conversation with him because he was saying something.
That's real.
And people forget that he was doing it 10 years before. Tate.
No one knows that. No one talks about
people
that.
just see him overnight and think, oh yeah, I'm going to do that then. No. These people have been putting in the work. They were scrambling, having to work other jobs and recording videos in their downtime. But they took accountability for that and kept the quality and stayed authentic to their true self. And then people started paying them to be themselves.
It's facts, bro. I always say as well, if you're not willing to do it without getting paid, you're not willing to do it.
100%.
That's the reality, because really you're only willing to do it because that money is accessible. And same with football. I remember this, like, early years, I'm one of those self-motivated people. So like, once I know I like something, I don't need you to tell me to go train, to go to the gym, to do all that other stuff. I'll go on my own. I go to the gym with no headphones in.
Yeah, that's like me.
Man's in the gym and I just like, got no headphones and it's like, get into the zone. It's like, I am in the zone. That's the difference. I don't need extrinsic things to get into a zone. The zone is me. And I'll step into that, and that's why, you know, it can be a bit intimidating dealing with people when you think like that, because they do sometimes need those extrinsic things. But I'm not judgmental. I'm not judgmental. That's the thing. I'll let you, if whatever helps and makes you motivated and gets to go where you need to, great. But it can be a little bit confusing when they meet an individual who is truly self-motivated and willing to do things without income, without having the need to have to get, well, I wouldn't say without income, without like, I have to make millions to do this. Do you know what I mean? If I don't make big bucks, I'm not interested. But then my thing is, and I've received so many messages and DMs from guys that have like, bro, I really appreciate that conversation that you had, or I saw that convo you had about that, man, that's really cool.
That's the currency.
Talking about That's what matters.
That's the currency.
I don't care about your frigging views. I'm helping people who actually can't speak or would like to speak as well as I do. Can't articulate these points.
That's what I'm saying.
You're the
what I say. That person that sent you that message, this conversation might change their life. They might go on to be successful, and then you do something with them. Like, it's just
like, exactly. And you don't even think about that.
It's annoying that it like anything in life, hindsight is probably the most amazing thing ever, and also the most frustrating thing ever. But I wish I knew this stuff sooner. I wish I had someone. But this is why we've got to be the change and take accountability. We almost got to take accountability for our parents.
That's it.
And be like, right, they did this and this wrong. I'm gonna change that, swap that, remix that a bit. So then I could take accountability for how my kids turn out, and hopefully they'll do the same and remix my mistakes. And you're just creating a purer version of yourself. But you have to take accountability.
That's so true. If you don't, it's probably going the opposite way. Because if we're not moving forward, you're probably moving backwards. That is a problem, because I think people have this notion today where it's like, if I'm not moving at an exponential pace, or if I'm not just getting to my goals, being consistent, that, you know, I'm kind of just staying still. I'm not moving backwards, I'm not moving forward, I'm just kind of still, I'm just here. No, you're not. The world's constantly moving. It's always revolving, always spinning.
I posted something about that not long ago, where I was like, move, that's it. Move forward, back, sideways, up, down, left, right. Sometimes you'll move back because in your head you've got a plan that, all right, you might not be able to do a podcast every week like you usually do. It's going to be every other 2 weeks because you're going to put in a couple of extra shifts here, or you've got to work at this time because you're going to bring in more money to pump it. Sometimes, but as long as you're moving, some people just sit.
I'm cool. I'll figure it out.
It will happen. I'll manifest it. Let me think about it. No, manifestation. You still need to move.
Exactly.
You still need to put action behind those words and those thoughts.
100%.
That's another buzzword. Like,
another buzzword.
I manifested it. Okay, what are you doing? I sit at home and read books. No. You need the books are there as a way for you to go and put action in.
Exactly. The thing about it, someone had to write that book for you to read it.
There you go.
Can you imagine if somebody said, abundant actions, just read my notes. You can read my scribbles on a piece of paper, forget putting it into a book.
A dope book, I can't remember the guy's name. You'll be able to, I think it's called Don't Think.
Okay.
This is genius. So imagine the guy is he's a shaman.
Nice.
And the book's something like, I think it's like $19.99.
Okay.
So you get the book.
So,
it's called Don't Think.
Okay.
Open the book, it's all blank pages. Because nothing he can say, you just need to stop thinking, just do.
I love it. How many pages is it?
It's a full-on book.
Like 400 pages.
Hardback. But it's so something like that is so prominent.
That's that you will never forget.
Like the title of the book is basically the book, because no matter what you write in it, the concept is don't think, just do.
So it's almost a sketchbook, but it's actually a book.
So the pages are full just by basically it's saying don't think. If you really care about something, don't think. Just go and do it. If you say, I want to lose weight, don't think. Do something that means you will lose weight. It's so genius.
Bro, that is really smart. And it goes back to that thinking about, it leads into maybe thinking about excuses as well. Because, you know, when we say we make up excuses and we're finding rational ways and finger pointing and all that, kind of leads into exactly the same thing. Doesn't it? Because it's like, you're trying to find some justification through wording. Of why you're not willing to actually do something, you know, and make yourself probably feel a little bit better in the process. But man, oh my gosh, that's what I think. Accountability is that there's so many layers. I think we could even go on and go further, but I think it was good. We could shelve that for a bit and come back to it, because that's the beautiful thing about having these platforms now. I try not to feel like we have to solve conversations or in one discussion. So it's like, I feel like that was a very healthy discussion about accountability. I think a lot of people relate to it, and I think we could revisit it at another time, maybe in a different scenario with other people, or get some other viewpoints. But 100%. I think we got the main core important things out there that a lot of people need to understand, which is it starts with the self, and then from there you build up, and it's almost like a tree, isn't it? Like a seed.
You know what I'd love to find out? Whoever watches this, if they say, for example, there's going to be That's what I'd like to know. Like, if someone says, like, "Oh, I had an argument with my missus this morning. I'm going to take accountability for it because it was my fault."
Yeah.
I'm just interested to know, like, what people will use it for. If you know what I mean.
Big facts. And I mean, when you look at today, it's almost like it's a dangerous word. Accountability. It's like
scary word as well.
It's a scary word because it's like it now seems like it's tied to these toxic argument debates online. It's not like you said, no one thinks about positive no more. It's not thinking about be accountable for this so that you can improve this. Be accountable for your food intake so you can be healthier and you can get sick and go to the hospital. Like it's we're pushing those things to the side a little bit, and it's like accountability is taking over this new form of like, if you use accountability in a conversation, it's usually to like make someone feel uncomfortable for something, as opposed to let's talk about it because it's necessary. Like we all need it, and just like we need to eat, so we need food, we need nourishment, and I think they directly correlate. And I've been able to see this from people like yourself, people I know that are successful, that have done well in their careers. They're very accountable. You don't find people who are very successful don't have an accountability.
I think what I would say is accountability is your therapy. Because even if you go to a therapist, they're going to help. Say for example, you've got an addiction. They're going to help you get over that addiction by making you somewhat in the right manner take accountability, but they'll kind of word it in a way where they'll kind of push positive affirmations your way, but also make you take accountability. Like it's no one but me. I was wrong to my mum because I stole her money. But that's not me. And they'll take accountability, and that will be their therapy. But they just do it in the right manner, and it comes down to, like you said, tone, choice of words. Accountability is where everyone can kind of lay their demons to bed, I think.
That's deep. I mean, before we leave, I want to just get your final points on like how accountability is related to you personally in like your career. Have you been able to see a correlation between times when you're not accountable or you are, and how that's like maybe helped you in particularly football and like your footballing career?
So I've always been like this, and like I said earlier on, you can't always control other people's behaviour, but you can always control yours. And I would say every good thing I've done is 100% me, and every time something's not gone my way, it's 100% me. That's the only way I can look at it.
I like that.
Like if the person wants to take accountability for what they might have said and done, that's cool, but I have to take 100% accountability for what I did. So if I looked a certain way, and this is not to say like, oh, now whenever you speak or like always be like a monk literally. No. Accountability is there for a reason, to look and then learn from next time. So next time I might not raise my voice and You have to actually make the mistake to be able to take accountability. So every good thing that I've achieved, I take accountability for. No one can claim anything. But also every time I've been hampered, kind of crippled myself, I also take 100% accountability for. However, it's with my way of thinking and my belief system being very spiritual. I would say sometimes doing the unhealthy thing, or quote unquote the wrong thing at the time, if your intentions are in the right place, it will work in your favour. So there's been times where I probably shouldn't have said certain things in a change room, but I was defending someone. It's hampered me, but then because it wasn't from a malicious or wrong place, the kind of universe has heard my cries, if you know what I mean, without being super hippie-ish, and 2 days later it's gone in my favour, or something's happened because it wasn't wrongdoing, it was for the right reason. My intentions and my actions were because I was taking accountability for that person's emotions and not being able to stick up for themselves. So accountability isn't always bad, it isn't always good, but you always have to take it. That's it right there in a nutshell. Really and truthfully, like it's a case of, it's one of those things, it's almost like a bitter medicine, isn't it? It's like literally, it's going to help you, but it's not always going to taste nice. I mean, it's not always going to be cowpaw. I mean, with the sweet black currant and might
all
be that yellow one.
That might be that bogey yellow. Remember that one?
That's what I'm about. That was mad.
That was crazy. But no, this is what we talk about. It's I think this conversation was really important for young people, particularly listening, because I've got an audience of younger listeners, young footballers, young athletes that really tap in, and you know, it's important for them to see examples of people who live it.
Yeah.
Because you can sit there and preach to them all day and be like, do this, do that, do this, do that. Yeah. But until they have the life lived experiences, sometimes there's like, I even sit with some of the coaches I talk with, and we talk about, sometimes they're just gonna have to learn, man. Like, we can't coach. We can't coach this thing. We have to he has to go through it.
Yeah.
And then we have to be there so that we can explain to you, hey, why? And we knew you was going to make the mistake, but we had to, you know what I'm saying? Those lessons sometimes are the most powerful.
But that's when you have to learn to put your ego to one side. Because if, I don't know, for example, for football, if you feel like you should be playing every week, there is a reason why you're not. Yeah. Like at times in my career, I'll be like, I'm the best player in the team. I'm not playing okay, I'm not doing something. So I have to take accountability. I'm not shooting when the manager says if you get in 25 yards of the goal, shoot. I'm not passing the ball, or I'm constantly losing the ball in the middle of the park because I'm trying to do step overs. I have to take accountability for that. Like, that is it. You always have to take 100% accountability. Whatever they want to say or do is them. But there is a reason things aren't going your way, and you can change that, but only with accountability. That's it. And you can only take accountability when you lay your ego to one side, because otherwise you'll do the thing that we mentioned at the beginning and go, I did do that, but you said I've got good skills. Okay, but I didn't say do it on the edge of our box. Take accountability and be like, okay, I understand, I'm not going to do that again. This is where it comes down to your tone and what you're saying. I'm not going to do that again. I've learnt my lesson. And then you show it with your actions.
Following it up. I mean, like, it goes back to something my dad always remembered telling me, is that anything somebody says before the word but is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's basically like
I'm just saying
jazzy, nice stuff. It sounds pretty, and then here's the important.
I'm just saying it so I can get to my reason as to why it's your fault.
Exactly. Like, I know I like this, but like, this is the reason why you have been messing this up. And it's like, again, that harks back to the finger pointing, doesn't it? And it very quickly, just in that, you could be trying to take accountability, and just in the tone and understanding how to take it, you could get triggered in the process, and then before you know it, you're actually not taking accountability, you're pointing fingers. And you're using the blame game. So it's a fine line before it can shift quickly, and that's why I think it's a hard one to explain and talk to people about, but the best is for us to sit down and be honest and talk about it. 100%. Be willing to talk about some of the things that we aren't good at, and I think that's the key. You when it comes to leaders and listening to people, you got to be able to see that they fuck up. If you can just see a leader or a person you follow and they're just like, everything's perfect.
They mess up more than most.
They always got a trim, and everything's perfect. It's like, no, I think appearance is important. But I think what comes out of your mouth, them recognizing that issues, turmoil, life hits you as well, makes you real.
That's why I think the best leaders, teachers, the ones that have been through the most. The most. That's why a lot of people who go to prison or had alcohol addiction, drug addiction, tend to turn to religion and all these different things, because they've been through the most. So they want to kind of use either religion or speaking or doing podcasts to give you that information. A lot of people will just speak on stuff and just speak on it because it's popular, but you know who's really been through it because they'll tell you they've been through it, and it comes across genuine.
Last final point, which kind of just springed up just as you was talking there, which is because that was obviously fantastic points, man. Appreciate that. Made me think about prison, and I think that prison is a great example of lack of accountability. You know, and it's a touchy one, because if we get into it, we can obviously get into it another time, because I'd like to get into that with people that maybe have experiences in that field and whatnot. But from what I've seen, it's a perfect accountability question mark when you go through the prison system, jail, whatever you want to call it, because you have to have the accountability on your side. Then you've got the accountability of, you know, law enforcement officers, all that other stuff. What have they done? Have they done their due diligence to like make sure that you know you are who you are? But what I would say is that when you're in prison, isn't it interesting how, guys, that the longer you spend on a sentence, typically the more reformed you become.
Yeah.
Because I think realistically what prison is that it takes people who are consistently out there making those moves. I'm just going to make a change, I'm just going to do this, I'm going to make this money, I'm going to shop this, I'm going to make that happen. And then they come in and they say, okay, seeing as you haven't chosen to take a calm moment and plan and prepare and think about what comes after, we're going to take away those options for you. And that's the hard part about it, because it's like it's necessary, but then when they do learn it, think about, you learn 2 years into a 10-year sentence.
But this is why I said about the ego, because what prison does is it strips your ego from you on the spot. On the spot, as soon as they say you got 10-year stretch, your ego goes out the window, because in prison there is no hierarchy as such. It might be the toughest guy, but you're all wearing grey suits, the same thing, no jewelry, no this, no that. You might have a little PlayStation, but that's just for your entertainment. That doesn't mean you're like the top dog in there. And it strips your ego, and then you have to be like, ooh, this really wasn't worth it, you know. I get 1 hour a day outside my cell, I'm just sat inside all the time. Can't go for a Nando's. Then you realise like that, like, to take accountability you have to strip your ego away, and prison does that for them. It does, and it showcases to you how important freedom actually is. A lot of us walking around with freedom, we really don't know how important it actually is until it's taken from you, and or health or something, some other factor where you just can't walk around freely and just enjoy it. It's like, you know, privileges are invisible to those that have it. You know, that's really, really the key fundamental part. But when we talk about accountability, I think it starts from self, as we said. Key, you know, just reviewing back. You know, it starts from self. Obviously, we just shared a couple of examples of how it's helped us and how we've recognised how it's helped us in our lives. But you know, by no means we're the finished article. I don't ever want to sit on. You can never complete it. You can never complete this thing called life. Like,
no, man.
There'll be certain scenarios. Even when I walk out this building now, there's always an opportunity to take accountability.
That's it. Yeah, big
like even for small things, like I'll get in a car, I might forget to give my daughter a kiss and say, how's your day been? I've got to take accountability for that, because that should be something that I do. Like, it's just, but you can never perfect it. You just kind of go with it. You flow. You flow in and out.
So being aware of it really is just like have it in your headspace, so that you can.
What I do now, and what I think is important for everyone to take away from this, is always look for opportunities to take accountability, because that's where you'll find your growth. So you might go home and be like, Mum, what's for dinner? She might go, who are you speaking to? Take accountability. Be like, sorry Mum, are you cooking dinner tonight? It's a chance to take accountability. You've learned something new. Manners are important.
We're constantly learning.
Look for those opportunities. Look for them. Don't see them as a bad thing. Actually consciously look for opportunities to take accountability, and that's where you'll grow the most.
Well, I mean, I think we should just leave it on that, man. That's a great little ending point for people to take. You know what I mean? Like, just take that on board and find out how accountability can really just help you in your life. You know, like I've gotten to a point where, like, only reason I'm comfortable speaking about it is because I've been taking a lot of accountability for a long time, and you know, when people, I've had conversations with people, and this has come up in convo a lot. It's something that men tend to deal with a very big problem, because we're very logical. We just want to find the solutions, and you know, if you can't find a solution, that can really mess with your head. Sometimes it can really get you down. So seek out those opportunities in your personal life, in things that you're passionate about, in ways that you can actually take more accountability on board, and use that to grow, like Josh was saying. But most importantly, it has to start. It's a journey of self-discovery. That's really what life is all about. And when you get to a certain point, you start to figure out and know what works for you. Just like with me, this is a very big passion for me. Like being a voice, being a person that people look towards, where we can talk. It's not so much about wanting to be a thing, and wanting to be popularized. I think it's more about when people are looking for certain set answers, I know I fit a certain group of people that don't have a voice. They don't really get spoken about very often. So, you know, if I can be that presence for some people to kind of, I didn't think of it like that, or maybe I will take that on board. And, you know, you're just helping guide people in the right way, and you also provide value. You know, you're that person that people want to work with. So I said this before, when you're a solutions-based person and you take accountability for options, people want to work with you. They seek out those individuals because, you know, you're going to solve the issue. You ain't going to come in and be like, oh man, I could have come in here, I could have told you, for a little quick one. This is a nice little one for the people. I'm filming this pod, and my holder, as you can see, one of the little clasps on it broke off. So we had to do the old sellotape job. Now, if you see behind the scenes accident, you'd be like, "Raw, what man? Just getting the tape out." But what people don't realise is that you're never going to know the full story of what actually goes on behind the scenes, of how people actually get things done. So it's not necessarily for them always to know, but I think it can be healthy when people are looking to you for the answers, or looking for some answers, for you to say, okay, that person takes accountability, willing to take accountability for their actions. I'm more likely to lean towards them, as opposed to this guy over here is probably just going to point fingers back at me and be like, oh, it's just your fault, you know. So
100%.
Nah, Josh, I mean, appreciate you coming through as always, my G. We got a ton of I've got a whole list, man, of talking points that we need to get into. So yeah, we're going to keep these things kind of recurring. There's no numbers really on how many we can do, so we're just going to keep this thing going. As always, my G, appreciate you for coming down and reasoning, share some love. I look at it kind of like a bit of a therapy as well, like these talking points, come down, share, talk, and we still keep it concise. We're not trying to be on here rambling and venting about some nonsense, you know what I'm saying?
Like our own voices.
Just hearing ourselves chatting, like no. These are things that I think directly affect people, and people like ourselves. And I think others coming up, young people, can kind of take some bits from it and, you know, take it to grow. So we're about to get off because big game about to be kicking off very soon. So. But yeah, people, wherever you listen to this message, I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you do like this content, like, share, subscribe. Always dropping episodes, at least one episode drops a week. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on the YouTube. Please go and support my guy Josh. He's got some releases coming up soon with the Daily Deposits.
So got a couple of retreats coming up.
Cool.
We just launched the skincare range. Then we're going to have some gym apparel. Nice. Got some mentoring.
Nice.
Going to be doing some charity events. So a whole heap of things. But yeah,
that's what we like. That's what we like to hear, man. Forward is all, man. We just keep moving forward, keep pushing, motivating each other. And yeah, the last bit is on the tribe. You know, pay attention to who's in your tribe. If you can build a tribe, do so, because you know, people really do need those supporting arms more than you think, and in the physical as well. You know, if you can do it in the flesh, please do. You know, if it has to be social and you guys are so far from each other, fine, cool. But if you can actually make things happen in the flesh, you know, like we sit down like here. If this would have been a Zoom, big difference. So that's how it goes. But yeah, we'll catch you beautiful people on the next episode. We'll see you very soon, and love as always.
Love.
Peace.